Okay, good morning. We're going to finish the 2nd Samuel chapter 15 and then move on to 16. So I'll repeat some of the ones I read. David walked up the road that led to the Mount Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered and his feet were bare as a sign of mourning. And the people who were with him covered their heads and wept as they climbed the mountain. When someone told David that his advisor Ahithophel was now backing Abasal, David prayed, "O Lord, let Thafel, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, give Absalom foolish advice." So they reached the spot at the top of the Mountain of Olives where people worshipped David. David found Hushai, the Archite, waiting for him. Hushai had torn his clothing and put dirt on his head as a sign of mourning. But David told him, "If you go with me, you will only be a burden. Return to Jerusalem and tell Abasal, I will now be your advisor, just as I was your father's advisor in the past. Then you can frustrate and counter Abasal's advice." Jatok and Abathar the priest were there. "Tell them the plans that are being made to capture me, and they will send their sons, Ahimaaz and Jonathan, to find me, and tell me what is going on." So David's friend Ashai returned to Jerusalem, getting there as Abasal arrived. David and Ziba, the 2nd Psalm, chapter 16. David was just past the top of the hill when Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, caught up with him. He was leading 2 donkeys loaded with 200 loaves of bread and 100 clusters of raisins and 100 bunches of summer fruit and a skin of wine. "What are there for?" the king asked Ziba. And Ziba replied, "The donkeys are for young people to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit are for the young men to eat. The wine is to be taken with you into the wilderness for those who become faint." "And where is Mephibosheth?" the king asked him. He stayed in Jerusalem," Ziba replied. "He said, 'Today we'll get back the kingdom with my grandfather Saul.'" "In that case," the king told Ziba, "I give you everything Mephibosheth owns." "Thank you, sir," Ziba replied. "I will always do whatever you want me to do." Shimei curses David. As David and his party passed Bahiram, a man came out of the village cursing him. It was Semai, son of Gera, a member of Saul's family. He threw stones at the king and the king's officers, and all the mighty warriors who surrounded them. "Get out of here, you murderer, you scoundrel," he shouted at David. "The Lord is paying you back for murdering Saul and his family. You stole his throne, and now the Lord has given it to your son Abasal. At last you will taste some of your own medicine, you murderer." "Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king?" Abishai, son of Zerah, demanded. "Let me go over and cut off his head." "No," the king said. "What I am going to do with you, sons of Zerah? If the Lord had told him to curse me, who am I to stop him?" Then David said to Abishai and the other officers, "My own son is trying to kill me. Shouldn't this relative of Saul have even more reason to do so? Leave him alone and let him curse, for the Lord had told him to do it. And perhaps the Lord will see that I am being wronged and will bless me because of these curses." So David and his men continued on, and Shimei kept pace with them on the nearby hillside, cursing as he went and throwing stones at David and tossing dust in the air. The king and all who were with him grew weary along the way, so they rested when they reached the Jordan River. Uh, Abathophel advises Abasal. Meanwhile, Abasal and his men arrived at Jerusalem, accompanied by Abathophel. Oh, sorry, that's a hard name for me to pronounce. When David's friend Hushai the Archite arrived, he went immediately to see Alisalam. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong too. "Long live the king," he explained. "Long live the king." "Is this the way you treat your friend, David?" Absalom asked him. "Why aren't you with him?" "I'm here because I work for the man who was chosen by the Lord and by Israel," Hushai replied. "And anyway, why shouldn't I serve you? I helped your father, and now I will help you." Then Abisal turned to Ahithophel and asked him, "What should I do next?" Ahithophel told him, "Go and sleep with your father's concubines, for he has left them here to keep the house. Then all Israel will know that you have insulted him beyond the hope of reconciliation, and they will give you your support. They will give you their support." So they set up a tent at on the palace roof where everyone could see it, and Absalom went into the tent to sleep with his father's concubines. Absalom followed Ahithophel's advice, just as David had done, for every word Ahithophel spoke seemed as wise as though it had come directly from the mouth of God.